So I've already drawn out the bird onto the canvas and I'm giving it a coat of acrylic medium, and then while it's wet into that medium I'm going to paint some burnt sienna as an imprimatura, or a layer to paint onto, and then dry that off quickly with a hairdryer, and then I can start to apply those little details that have just becoming lost as I painted over that drawing. So I just want to re-establish them, make sure I know where they are so I know the accuracy is still there. So just with a small brush, this is going to be a pheasant portrait, but in acrylics, but it's going to be in an impressionist style with a little bit of abstract and a little bit of realism, a bit of detail. So there's going to be three basic methods used: abstract, impressionism and realism. The abstract is going to be around the background, the impressionist into the bird itself, and then round the head and the face is going to be where the realism is. Okay, so now with my 1-inch brush, flat bristle brush, I'm just going to put in some of these basic shapes and basic colours. Now, if you're interested in any of the tools and equipment, brushes, materials that I use, I have left links in the description below, so if you want to buy them from there, then you would be helping to support me and my channel and helping me to keep bringing you these videos. Okay, I'm just knocking in basically the background now, and I want this to be sort of a vignette, a bit lighter behind the head to make that head really stand out against that lighter background. Now, I've got to go a little bit lighter with that yet. It's nowhere near light enough. It really needs to stand out. So I'm using earth colours basically for the entire painting, apart from a few warm colours like maybe cadmium red, vermilion or cadmium orange, because this bird has very bright markings, so I do have to use those bright colours for that. Just scratch my name into the wet paint there. Okay, so I'm going to be using the earth colours for basically the entire painting, apart from a couple of little areas. So a bit of burnt sienna now to give me the basic colouring of that bird, and then with this silicone tool, the catalyst, I can move that paint around, blend it and blur it and make it quite abstract. It's a great tool. I can pick paint up off the palette and paint with it, apply it as well. Okay, there's the red area. I'm just putting, you can use vermilion if you've got it, or cadmium red light for that. It's quite a bright red. A bit of burnt sienna on the top, and then for the rest of the bird, I need to make that area a little bit darker on that edge there. Probably a bit easier to do that when that layer has dried. So I'll just put in some of the lighter areas. With a bit of raw umber and white, I can put in the basic colourings here and there, the colouring of the beak and this collar that it has around its neck, a light collar. Now that background has dried, I can start putting in the second layer, because this is all about painting in layers. This is how you can paint with acrylics quite easily, and you must learn to paint quickly as well. But we paint layer into layer. Let one layer dry, paint over the top, and this is what I'm doing. This is over the dried first layer, and I'm putting this background in once again. Different tones, different values, because it's going to be an abstract background, remember, so you can be really quite loose with that. I need to get some brighter areas in there behind that neck and head so that it really stands out. If you paint quickly like this, you can blend much easier. Okay, back with the silicone tool now, and I really do want to get quite abstract with this. I'm not bothered about going over the bird itself, because I can always do a little bit more painting to that bird to bring that back again if I need to. But you get that nice and impressionist, or abstract really, that background. And then the bird, I can start with this little cheap bristle brush here. You don't have to buy expensive brushes. And I love the cheap brushes. The cheaper the better, really. I think they make great marks. Okay, just putting a little warm in there just to make that bird just stand out a little there. Now, I'm going to be using blurred edges and sharp edges. Now, where the head is against that light background, I'm going to have sharp edges. And then as the body of the bird comes down towards the bottom part of the picture, it's going to be more blurred and blend in. Now, this will also help to accentuate where the viewer's eye is going to go, which is going to be going towards the face, because that's where the detail is, and that's where those hard edges are. And the softer edges in a painting tend to make the eye move towards the hard edges. Just putting some warmth into that bird there. I'm just basically getting the basic colouring of the bird and the lighting. Not trying to be detailed at all. I'm using this one brush here. You can't really do detail with this brush. Okay. All right. Getting some depth in there now, getting some darks. And you can see how it's blurring. That right hand edge of the bird there is blurring and blending into that background. And the same with the one on the left, that left side. A little bit of Payne's grey and white will just give me a nice bluish tone there, just to show the highlight on its neck. And again, blurring like that and blending. And also light against those hard edge colours on the neck and the head. Okay, making some abstract marks there with the brush. In the background, that is. And I'll put some of those colourings of the bird into the background. And that will give me an optical blurring effect, because you see parts of the colouring of the bird in the background as well. And it sort of blends it optically, as well as creating a very nice colour harmony. Okay, I can get really quite abstract with these marks down here as well, on the bird itself. Okay, get that head right there. I'm just going to get a lighter colour now, because I need to delineate this beak a little bit better. So a bit of raw umber and white, just to give me the basic shape. And then I can add some lighter areas to that to give me some highlights on that. Now, I will go over this beak several times in order to get it right, and to get the lighting right, and the shape right, and the colour right. 3 things to remember there. Okay, put a little bit of orange yellow into the eye. They have quite a bright eye. Now, the red area around the eye needs to have some sort of details in there, some highlights and shadow areas. So I'm just going to put these in loosely. You can use a yellowish colour for that. Then when it's dry, if I paint a thin layer of red over the top, they will still show through just a little bit, to create that little bit of variety and interest in that area. So it's not just a flat colour. All the time I'm going over little areas. As areas have dried, I'm going on to the next layer to put in little details here and there. Just warm that up a little bit there. And a little dot in the eye and around the eye. Again, I will put colour into that white area I've put in the eye when it's dry. So you have to think ahead as you're doing it. A few little light highlights on the red area, like that. And then the highlight on the eyelid, the lower eyelid, always catches a little bit of light there. Once again, going into the beak and redoing the beak once again. A little bit of a highlight on the top of the head there. And I can put in another layer of this Payne's grey, the darker areas, to make that really stand out now against that background. Because each time I apply it, it will go darker and darker. You have to wait for the layer to dry to do that, but okay, that's beginning to look a little bit more detailed now, and is therefore standing out from the rest of the painting. That's where the eye is immediately going to, is that detailed area, which was the intention. Okay, a few little darker areas and shadow areas now into this red. So I'll mix a darker red and just put some little shadow areas. Like that. A little spray of water once that's dry, and then get a very thin layer of paint and go over the top. When I spray the canvas, I don't spray it wet. I spray very, very fine mist so that it's damp. I don't want the water running down the canvas. It's just damp and allows me to do all sorts of things. It allows me to blend, allows me to paint fine lines, and it also helps me to blur things because it takes longer for the paint to dry. It will keep it activated. Okay, I'm just going to put in some of these markings. Now a pheasant has lots and lots of markings, and they have a direction and a shape. So if you're painting a bird like this with these markings, multiple markings, you must pay attention to the direction and shape and size of all these little markings. Now, they change shape here, you see, for instance, they become half moon shapes and will vary in size. But I'm not going to paint this realistically. This is just Impressionist style to make it look like there's detail without me actually doing photorealistic detail. It's making an impression of those little markings. Okay? Right. So I'll just do a few more of those until I've done enough that I'm happy with them. And then I can blend those out and blur those out into the rest of the body. And then I'll just go back over the eye again with the darks, making sure I've got the shape right. And another layer of dark in those dark areas around the head to make that again go even darker still. I don't think it can go much darker than that now. But it's like the lights. If you want the lights to stay bright, you have to go over them several times once they're dried, maybe 3 or 4 times, for them to stay bright, because it will darken and sink in as it dries. All paints will do that. Oil paints will do it as well, but not so much. So you do have to re-establish the brights and the darks to a certain extent as well. Okay, I'm going to put in some little orange marks now into the bird because it does have bright orange areas and some little highlight areas as well on these little feathers here. They have a specific shape, these feathers, on a pheasant. If they're too bright, just tap it with your finger like that and it takes the brightness away. Little mist spray of water once again, and I can start putting the background in again around the neck because it's not bright enough yet. So this time I'm just going to wet my finger and blur the paint with my finger. So remember, it's a damp canvas. I've just sprayed it with water. I'll paint this colouring on, and then with my finger just lightly blend it and blur it. I'm not doing it over the entire canvas, just this little area that I want to really stay bright. I'll put some other colours in there as well. With this brush, I'll use my finger again, just that little area. Okay, back to the bird. I'm putting the beak in once again, those light areas. And in the eye itself. Then a little bit of orange into the eye, over that white, and it will stay quite bright. Maybe a bit of colour into the beak, and then a little bit of white just to blend that colour. So it's not just one tone. And then I can change the colour behind that beak there, behind that area. Wet my finger, blur it again. And I can keep working on the painting like that until I'm really, really happy with that background. Okay, that beak's looking a little bit better now, shape-wise. A few little highlights up there on the top of the head. Make it stand out a little bit better there. And I'll get some bluey grey colour with the Payne's grey and white to put in a few little highlights on the top of the head in this and the back of the neck with that colouring. And then put the shape back in of the mouth. And then with this old brush, which I can bend the bristles of, I can put in some of the highlights. If you've got an old brush like this, it's great for doing this type of work. You can do lots of little fine little lines in one go. And I use it in a lot of paintings. So if you've got an old brush that you don't mind bending and splaying the bristles of, then certainly try this technique. Don't do it with a new brush because it won't go to a point anymore unless you don't mind that. Okay, just going to do a few more little highlights. We're not far off finished now. I'm just going to mix up an orange colour just to put in that area once again, and I'll need to put in a few little highlights now. That's more or less all that I need to do. This is the bit I really enjoy doing, the very final highlights, these little dots of light that just bring the bird alive. Don't have to do many, you don't have to do a lot of them. I'll just do a few more little light areas, some to the bird, some to the head, and when that's all done, that is the painting finished. If you have enjoyed this video and hopefully found it interesting and entertaining, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click on the little bell icon if you wish to be notified of my latest videos. I am always interested in your questions and comments, and I do try to answer every one of them. Hopefully I will see you on my next painting video, so until then, have a lovely day and happy painting!